The history of the Lincoln cent in 2001 flows out of a lineage that began in 1909, when the coin was first introduced to honor the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, and by the time collectors reached the early years of the 21st century, the Lincoln cent had already become one of the longest-running coin designs in United States history, and the 2001 issue represents a continuation of the memorial reverse era that began in 1959, when the wheat reverse was replaced with Frank Gasparo's depiction of the Lincoln Memorial, a design chosen to celebrate the 50th anniversary of the original Lincoln cent, and to reflect modern American symbolism and architecture. And as the United States Mint carried the coinage program into 2001, the cent remained an essential part of American commerce, even though inflation had long eroded the purchasing power of 1 cent. Yet public demand and vending machine standards kept the coin in continuous production. The 2001 Lincoln cent was struck at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, with the Philadelphia coins carrying no mint mark and the Denver coins bearing the familiar D mint mark. Both facilities produced massive quantities as the nation continued to rely on billions of cents in circulation, and the planche composition remained the copper-plated zinc alloy first introduced in 1982 with a 975% zinc core and a 25% copper, coating, a change originally made to reduce production costs when rising copper prices made the older bronze composition too expensive in 2001. This alloy was still the standard, and it defined the look and feel of all memorial cents of the period. Collectors note that the 2001 Lincoln cent continues the Victor David Brenner obverse portrait, which had become an American icon featuring Lincoln's right-facing bust that had remained virtually unchanged for nearly a century, preserving the strong historical continuity of the series. And while the design stayed consistent year after year, the dies themselves were renewed annually, which means subtle strike differences, luster variations, and minor imperfections can be seen under magnification, giving collectors points of interest for attribution and study. During 2001, the United States Mint was also modernizing many of its processes with improved die preparation methods, better quality control, and more efficient high-speed presses, all of which influenced the sharpness and consistency of the strikes found. On 2001 cents, though, circulation strikes typically show average detail due to mass production, die fatigue, and the nature of zinc planches. The year also saw ongoing discussion among numismatists about whether the cent should remain in production at all, as many argued that the cost to make the coin was approaching or surpassing its face value, while others insisted that eliminating the cent would cause price rounding and public inconvenience, so the mint continued, striking billions of them. And this debate, which has resurfaced regularly throughout the decades, helps frame the 2001 coin as a representative of an era when the cent was both an indispensable yet controversial part of the monetary system among collectors. The 2001 Lincoln cent does not usually carry significant rarity, but high-grade mint state examples, especially from Denver, can show excellent brightness and copper brilliance, making them visually appealing, and certain die varieties, such as minor die cracks, die chips, and plating blisters, attract attention from specialists who enjoy cataloging small anomalies created during the striking process. The year 2001 also sits near the end of the memorial reverse period, which would conclude in 2008 before the transition to the 4-part 2009 bicentennial series and the subsequent Union Shield reverse introduced in 2010. So the 2001 issue stands as one of the late memorial cents produced in large numbers during a time when the mint had not yet begun its redesign campaign, and this gives the coin an identity closely tied to the familiar long-running series that generations of Americans carried in their pockets. School children saved in jars and hobbyists searched through in rolls for interesting varieties in a broader historical context. The Lincoln cent of 2001 reflects the economic environment of the United States at the time, including the growing role of electronic transactions, which had begun reducing the frequency of cash usage even Before the digital age fully matured, but despite these shifts, the cent remained culturally embedded and widely circulated, making the 2001 issue an everyday artifact of American life, one that connected the past to the present through its enduring portrait of Lincoln and its place in the numismatic timeline, and by examining the 2001 cent, collectors gain insight not only into mint operations, but also into public habits, historical continuity, and the evolving conversations about the future of low-denomination coinage, all of which make the 2001 Lincoln cent far more than a simple copper-coated coin, as it represents a living thread running through more than a century of American monetary and cultural history. As the story of the 2001 Lincoln cent continues, it is important to understand how this coin reflects not just numismatics, but the technological, political, and cultural climate of the United States. At the start of the 21st century, the mint was undergoing steady modernization with computer-assisted engraving and improved planche preparation techniques which influenced the consistency of the 2001 strikes. Although high-speed production always introduced some variation, especially on copper-plated zinc planches that were prone to plating bubbles and small fissures during the manufacturing process. These characteristics helped create the minor varieties that collectors hunt for in 2001. Rolls today, including small die cracks raised areas, near the date or mint mark, and other anomalies that tell the story of the dies used that year. The Lincoln cent of 2001 was also produced during a time when coinage demand fluctuated rapidly due to shifts in consumer behavior after the rise of debit cards, credit cards, and early online shopping, yet the cent remained widely needed for physical transactions, and businesses continued to request bulk quantities from the Federal Reserve, ensuring that both the Philadelphia and Denver mints ran at high capacity for significant portions of the year. The mint also released annual reports that discussed cost structures, metal prices, and production efficiency, which helps modern collectors understand why the copper-plated zinc composition stayed in place through 2001. Even though many argued for the return to the more traditional bronze alloy, or for eliminating the cent entirely, the cost to produce the coin hovered near the face value and occasionally exceeded it, sparking debate that still continues today about whether the cent should be retired. But in 2001, the coin still represented an essential anchor in pricing and economic psychology, and many Americans viewed the cent as a symbol of thrift savings and everyday commerce. The numismatic community in 2001 was also significantly influenced by the rise of the Internet, which began transforming how collectors bought, sold, traded, and researched coins online. Auction platforms expanded collector markets and allowed people to acquire high-grade 2001 Lincoln cents, certified by leading grading services without needing to attend in-person shows. This shift changed the distribution of new coinage, as collectors were more informed about population reports, strike quality trends, and production totals than ever before, and it resulted in heightened interest in searching 2001 rolls for potential mint state gems, especially from Denver, which was known for producing some of the higher luster coins that year. The historical arc of the Lincoln cent also plays a key role, as the 2001 issue stands just 8 years before the massive redesign effort that would begin in 2009, when the United States honored the bicentennial of Lincoln's birth and the centennial of the Lincoln cent itself by offering 4 commemorative reverse designs representing Lincoln's early life, his formative years, his professional rise, and his presidency. Collectors looking back at 2001 see it as part of the final era of the long-running memorial reverse, which itself first appeared in 1959, replacing the famous wheat ears reverse of 1909 to 1958 and celebrating the Lincoln Memorial as a national icon. The memorial design was in use for nearly half a century, and coins from 2001 represent its mature phase, where die engraving techniques had become refined enough that even circulation strikes often show clear lines of the memorial steps, Lincoln's seated statue, and sharply outlined inscriptions. Another key aspect of the 2001 Lincoln cent is the role it played in coin collecting habits of the early 21st century, as many collectors, particularly younger hobbyists, actively searched through pocket change and bank rolls for red, uncirculated examples and minor die varieties. During this period, many educational coin programs promoted the Lincoln cent as an entry point into the hobby because of its affordability, long history, and wide availability.